From working title headquarters in Baltimore, Maryland, it's ITRS with Jordan BDJ Taylor. Tonight's guest, singer and songwriter Limo, and poet and director Nia June. And now for the host of ITRS, DJ.
DJ, aka Beanie from the county, aka the voice of the county, aka I see the game like Romo, aka I see the game like Lamar, aka what's another one? What's a good one? A timely, relevant one. Oh, I spend that stimmy like Bill Belichick in free agency. We're here for another episode of ITRS. Yes, sir. Inside the Rapper Studio. Great episode coming up tonight. We got Nia June, we got Limo, but always gotta start off with the monologue, right? We always gotta bring it in and apply that pressure early. Right up front though, apologies. I'm actually recording from the crib, my mom's lovely office. Don't tell people your dream shoulder. Pretty old brand. It's a whole family thing, this whole dream big thing, but yeah, man. Don't have the camera we usually use, don't have the microphone we usually use, so starting it out like them early episodes. So this is the quality might be a little off on my end. Apologies for that, but as for the monologue, let's talk, man. It's getting warmer out. The seasons are changing. This ain't a rehash of the one I did a couple episodes ago. This is more like a PSA. Let's tell niggas be careful, stay safe. Man, I'll tell you a little story. So last week, when we recorded the interview with Injure, shout out to Jure, that day, it was like the first day that they had 60 degrees outside. And I had some of my dogs in the office with me. We just was itching to just finish up so we can go outside and, do what niggas do. Go outside, have fun, enjoy the day, run the streets, whatever it may be. But I say that to say, like, it's about to be warm out, it's about to be nice out. It's about to start getting dark at 9 o'clock. It's about to have a lot more good energy and good things coming our way. Just make sure we stay focused. Make sure you don't lose track of whatever your goal is, whatever thing you grind towards, whatever you try to make happen, just for some cheap thrills. I understand we've been locked up and it's been a lot harder over this past year because we've been locked up a lot more, you know what I mean, through quarantine and through all the shit that's going on. So now it's kind of like a release. It's kind of time for us to exhale a little bit. With that being said though, stay focused. Keep your mind on whatever you need to handle whatever you need to handle. Stay out of trouble. Don't let one what your father say or your mom say. Don't let one moment of pleasure, one moment of quick decision, one quick action, whatever it may be, sacrifice everything that you work towards. So keep your head on straight. Stay focused, have fun, enjoy the weather, enjoy the energy, enjoy being around people again if that's what you into. Whatever it may be, really cherish this time, really take this time, don't take this time for granted because we seen how it is to get shit taken away. But at the same time, stay focused because there's still a lot more that gotta be done. But hey, great show on the way. Shout out to my dog Score. Shout out to the working title. Shout out to the fourth quarter. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the home team honors. Man, just dope to see so many people be honored from the city. So many dope artists, so many dope producers. Videographers, all that shit. It's just dope. And let's keep this energy going. Let's keep this momentum going, man. It's shaping up to be a summer for the ages. I'll be out here hitting. I danced like Martin Payne on that episode when he was in the elevator. When he had to get his groove on one last time before he got married to Gina. But that's a deep cut. A lot of y'all niggas might not get that. Y'all might have grew up watching what's a corny show? Damn, I'm usually quicker than that. But hey, like I said, stay focused, stay on your grind. Yeah, enjoy a great show.
Got it hazy in the booth, it's hard to see in this bitch. And in the lab, I'm steady cooking Lil B in this bitch. And all my diamonds white like yayo, got a key on my wrist. I get the pussy, make it stretch like Monkey D on the bitch. Hey, look, what? Where the cash at? Put the dollar sign in front my name like it's the cash app. Smoking, get her open, so I rolled aloud and passed that. Had to change my number, bitches stalking like the NASDAQ.
Hey, thank you. For our first interview of the evening, or of the episode, I guess it's whatever time you're watching it. Evening, morning, noon, night, whatever the hell you're watching this joint. We have musician, artist, Limo. Oh, I meant to add in world traveler, world explorer. And Limo, there we go.
Hey,
How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. All things considered, I'm doing well. It is a gloomy. We were speaking before the episode. It is a gloomy day, but I think sometimes I like a gloomy day. When you sprinkle one in there, like once every couple of weeks, it's a nice little change of pace for you.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it don't become a habit. If we look up next week and it's still cloudy and shit, then I'll be a little.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't about me and how I feel. It's about you. So every interview on Inside the Rapper Studio begins with an origin story. So
Okay.
without further ado, let the audience know
How did
your
I get
origin
here?
story. How did you get here?
Wow, origin story. So I'm born and raised Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah. Okay, interesting part of my story is that I was actually in foster care for many years. Well, actually not too many, but when I was younger, as a toddler, infant.
Hmm.
Eventually I was adopted around 6 years old or so. So I think that part of my experience really kind of gives me a different insight to life and artistry with that experience. But yeah, my mother who adopted us a lot, my brothers and sisters, she went to church 6 days out of the week,
Mm.
and we went to church with her, so it was a lot of church, but that's what got me into music. So
I
that
was
was
about
like
to
my
say,
entry. Yeah,
let me guess. Did you join the choir?
of course.
There it is.
We were the choir.
Oh
Okay, we
wow.
were the choir.
How
Yeah,
many
my
siblings did
my
you have? Or do you have? I'm
it
sorry.
was at least, well, all of my siblings that I grew up with, we were all adopted. So we all came from different families.
That's
It was
interesting.
it was at least at any given time, at least six of us.
Shit, so yeah, you were the choir. You're right. You was running. You was
They
running
called us the Tiny Tots. Yes, we were the Tiny Tots. So yeah, that was music. The choir, solos and things. That's that was really when I guess discovered that I had a gift for music. I kind of took I kind of clung to it a little stronger than my siblings did. I was really paying attention to what was happening. I was imitating the voices that I was hearing. I was
Mm.
breaking up the harmonies and stuff like that. So I think it was early on, through church and through gospel music that I started like really listening and realizing that I had a gift for music. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. That makes sense a lot. So from in those early gospel days where I heard you mention solos, so you were one of the ones getting the solos early, one of the ones that when you come for Easter and you come for Christmas, you know that you're gonna be up there doing your thing.
Yeah, after a certain age, when I got over my fear, yes,
Oh,
I was definitely that. Yeah, I didn't really have my first solo maybe until I was in high school, but I was definitely on a choir and stuff like that up until then. But yeah, when once I started doing solos, it
it
was
was a
kind of
wrap.
over. Yeah.
So what else
Hmm.
kind of defined your style? We clearly have the early church influences, but what
Hmm.
else kind of defined your style as a vocalist and shaped that?
Definitely jazz, I would say, because when I got to high school, City College,
So he would have dropped something right there.
yeah, City College. Our choir, if you don't know, the world renowned Baltimore City
There you
College
go.
Choir, we trained, we studied, we went hard, rehearsals, all of that. So that really kind of put in a work ethic for us. But to answer your question, we did a lot of jazz. We had like a jazz ensemble. We had the concert choir, which did more like classical music. Then we did gospel and all those types of things. But jazz definitely was one of those genres for me that like Ella Fitzgerald, specifically, like it really drew my attention. Just the way she was just so impeccable with her, her phrasing, her timing, her notes, everything was just on. And she really she what am I trying to say? Like imitated the instruments and stuff like that. So I would say she definitely influenced my vocal style as well.
And little sidebar, but it just immediately came to my mind. You know who else did that I didn't realize until I watched a documentary about him?
Who was that?
Biggie.
Who?
Biggie. Biggie
Oh,
learned like
right, exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
his pattern, his rhyming pattern, the reason his flow was so unorthodox because he was patterning himself off of music that didn't have words. I didn't
Saxophone.
exactly. It didn't even
Exactly.
make sense
Jazz.
until I saw it. I was like, oh, that's why he spit it so that's why he got the best flow of all time. We'll just come out there and say that.
Exactly.
But this ain't about
Yes.
Biggie. It's about Limo. Again, back to the
No, it's
topic
all
at hand.
good.
But I think that it's cool to hear. Just kind of backtrack through your story. It's kind of cool to hear like at every
Mm-hmm.
juncture you kind of had a great the best case scenario for you to kind of hone your talent. So we talk about the church choir, we talk about then you go in the city and their
Yeah.
renowned choir, and then I was told from my producer source ways you end up going to Philly and going to
Yes.
Temple, where they
Yes.
have
I
you know
went to
Philly
Temple.
soul, where back to fucking like Teddy Pendergrass, you know what I mean? They just
Exactly.
renowned for that. So how did your
Exactly.
style kind of grow and change when you got to the city of Philadelphia?
Um, I would say it was just really it enhanced like just just everything, because when I was in high school, I was listening to a lot of those records, like a lot of the neo soul. Like I just knew I was gonna be like the neo soul queen or
And
whatever.
now
Like
you embodying it. You got the plants and the little earrings and the
natural
hair.
hair, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's what
saying?
I'm saying.
I'm telling you, I was like all the way in it. So when I came to Philly, although I was sad because I just missed like the era with like, the Jill Scotts and Jasmine Sullivans and Bilal and Music
Yeah,
Soul Child and all of that. But
so
it was still
Aquarius.
a strong, strong presence of that that's still in the city, that hovers the city. So I was able to get in on it. Um yeah, there's a lot of jam sessions and things like that that still happen in Philly on a regular basis. So I just got into that. And that's how I started, performing kind of on a regular basis, just getting out there, meeting people, networking, and stuff like that. But I would just say it just enhanced me to the next level. Baltimore kind of like, was my training ground, as a youngin, like a
Mm.
kid. And then Philly, gave me that next level of preparation, kind of into my adulthood. I really got a lot of like my independence and things like that when I came to Philly. So
And
mhm.
during all this time, were you still doing like when did you begin to, I guess, take music seriously as like a
Like an
solo artist?
artist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, I guess it came from my friends asking me to feature like with their bands and stuff and just sing with us, do this song or whatever. I don't think I was really thinking of myself at the time as like, oh, I'm a solo artist, I'm out there. But doing more of that and kind of being around artists, it makes you kind of want to develop your own identity like even more. So I think it was definitely after I graduated college. I was still working with kids, after school care, teaching, all of that kind of stuff. But I just decided to just go and do it, all
Hmm.
the way. So yeah.
When were the first moments when you were like, oh, this is a real thing that I really can do and really will do? When did it become real?
um, it I don't know. I mean, it's still becoming real.
Still?
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just like the reality of it is it's what you make it. It's not it's not gonna become what you think it's gonna be just because, what your imagination. No, you really have the power. I'm learning.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was become for me. I'm still learning that honestly, because I've been doing a lot of stuff with a lot of different people and I've been watching a lot and observing a lot. So like really I feel like I'm still or haven't really presented myself to the world. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely gonna be like a new level of just like once y'all understand all the things that I've gone through, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love being an artist in Philly.
Next question. You know it's coming. You know what I'm gonna ask you. We can even play a little game. Do you know what I'm about to ask you about next?
I could guess, but you go ahead and tell me.
I want you to guess. It's fun.
No, 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 no. I'm not gonna set myself up like that.
Anita Baker.
Oh, okay.
Anita
All right.
Baker,
All
man.
right.
Oh, that's not what you were thinking of.
No, and that's good. It's better.
Oh no, I want to know what you was
No,
about to.
no, I thought you were gonna ask like, oh, when's the album? You know, like
Oh no,
that's usually like,
that was gonna be the next
yeah,
question.
yeah.
But
Um,
Anita Baker, I think she's on my all-time team. If you had like a Hall of Fame of like crushes and people that men, women, young, old, black, white, was just like ah, Anita Baker, man. She gave you a shout out. Cosign.
yes, she did. That's I would say first of all, thanks to the power of social media, because and then it's not just social media, but social media is how I was able to reach out to her. But being who she is and social media was how she was able to reach back out to me. You know what I'm saying? So I had a rehearsal and I was covering Angel, tagged her in it. She tweeted me back, oh young, she actually responds a lot to just like her admirers and things like that on Twitter. So if you like, I didn't know like what she was gonna say to the video or whatever, but she was just like, yes, little youngins, you know. But then she followed me after that. So that began our virtual relationship because, you know, anytime I was posting something, I'm singing, like aside from me doing anything Anita Baker or whatever, she's just cheering me on.
I
You know what I'm
dope.
saying? And when I finally put out my debut single, she listened to it. Not okay. I all I did was say, "Can I send you the song?" Her next response to me was her review of the song. So she sought it out on her own. You know what I'm saying? Like I never sent anything. You know, I just asked,
God damn.
and she was just like, you know, I love it. You know, the live instrumentation, the feel. Like I was just like, I literally screamed because I was at a show, and we were in intermission. And I was standing talking to a couple of my friends, and I looked at my phone and I literally screamed.
That is so cool.
I screamed. And it was like, what? I was like, yeah. And then they screamed. And everybody was looking at us, but you know, but yes, that I really just think that speaks to her, the person that she is. You know,
Hell yeah.
she could have definitely just been like, kept it moving, you know. She could have, you know, some people, a lot of artists have social media teams and people running their stuff, so they're not even the ones interacting, you know, with the audience. And
Mhm.
the fact that she not only listened to it and, you know, commented, but she cheers me on and gives me like putting me on, you know what I'm saying, co-signing. And it's just a big honor, to be honest with you.
Dope.
It's a big honor. That's all I can say.
Oh man, that's just so cool. It made me think instantly.
Hmm.
Shout out to Miss Khan. We haven't had her on this season, but shout out to Miss Khan.
Hmm.
When Missy Elliott like tweets about her,
Hmm.
like it's like damn, that's
Hmm.
dope. Or like me,
I love it.
I tweeted about Mike Valentino. I said his music was I said Mike Valentino had one of the worst pens of all time. He responded back. I think he called me broke or something. Or said like the records don't lie. But hey, again,
Okay.
it just speaks to the character of the person. And
It does.
hey, I ain't even asked you. Hey, Mike
That's
Valentino, you see
hilarious.
this? I still want smoke, bro. I still want it. But
That's hilarious.
Nemo,
That's hilarious. Yeah, you never know who's gonna respond to you. You know, you never know. And me, I'm the type of person like I'm not really a big fan of the middleman. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm,
I'm just a better. It's better for me to relay what I have to say from me to you. You know, and in the music industry, there's a lot of middlemen. There's a lot of middlemen,
oh
and
yeah.
everybody's, you know what I'm saying?
Even
So
the middleman got a
social
middleman.
exactly, you know, so the social media era gives us the opportunity to go directly to whoever, you know, and if by chance they see it, that could change everything. So yeah.
Now time for the elephant in the room, which you already addressed. When is the album coming? No, not
Ooh,
when is the album coming
child.
out, because we're not
I
doing
know,
that.
right? Yeah, yeah,
What's
no.
next? That's how we always phrase it and frame it.
So,
What's
so
next?
I'm I am working on a couple of different things with some producers in Philadelphia. I'm also in LA. Also, like that it's just a location, but the point is, there's music that's being made, and I'm excited because I've never put out a project before. I've put out singles, I've been on other people's stuff, but I'm just really looking forward to presenting what I have to say. A lot of people see me, but they don't know me. You know what I'm
That's a good
saying?
one.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, they know me from coming up or what have you, and that's great. But there's like a barrier that I feel like I want to break between me and my audience, so the people who listen to me. So that's what that's what I want to do with the music that I have coming out. So
That's
you
fine.
can look for it. Yeah, you can look for it. Hopefully I can give y'all something this year. But we're gonna see how things go. The
You
world
can't.
is still, yeah,
I was about to say you can't
not
force
trying to
it, can't
rush it.
rush it.
Exactly. So
I don't
yeah,
know how the hell we said that at the same time with the
I
Zoom lag.
know.
That ain't nothing but divinity, synchronicity, whatever you want
Exactly.
to call it.
Synchronicity. Exactly.
But listen, round of applause for Limo. This is where the applause will be at. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Hopefully we ain't in the first edits.
Woo!
Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter because we have a good time on there. At Musica_Lemo. That's MUSICA_LEEMO. And my website is lemomusic.com. Just, keep up with me, and I'll keep y'all posted with everything that I have coming up. I actually, the March 25th, I'm going to be a part of a, is this going to be airing before then? I'm
So
not
let's
sure.
see. We're recording this on the 18th. Yeah, it should be out the
Okay, but
23rd, if
either
I'm not
way, I
mistaken.
think you might be able to catch the rerun. But I'm
Okay.
doing a tribute to songwriter Gordon Chambers, and he's written the song "If You Love Me, Say It. If You Love Me." Yeah, that
The
song.
Brownstone song?
Exactly. He wrote that, and he wrote Anita Baker, "I Apologize." He wrote "Missing You," Brandy, Tamia on the
Oh, he's
set
a
of
goat.
yeah.
He's
So
one of them. He's a heavyweight.
we're airing a tribute to him on March 25th, and I'm one of the singers on that.
That
So
is so
check that out.
dope.
Yeah, I have it on my page. So if you go there, you'll be able to see it, and the link is in my bio as well. So yeah, that's like the most recent thing I got coming up that y'all can check out.
All right, fine. Well, thank you for your
Awesome.
time.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
Listen, on the other end of the break, we have Nia June. But listen, stay tuned because it's going to be a commercial right about.
ITRS is brought to you by SwayzeTV. It's just fucking television. And Working Title Podcast. Catch all new episodes 11 a.m. every Monday morning. Back to the show.
Hold that. Our next guest is the creative powerhouse herself, Nia June. Not to be confused with Nia June. It's Nia June. She made sure to correct my ass before the interview started. Nia, how you feeling? There we go.
I'm good. It's rainy, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's rainy as shit. It look like the Views album cover outside.
That's not a bad thing.
I like how you shine though. You got the jewelry, the chains and whatnot. You shining. You shining. The
Always.
nail, the rings. Oh man. I might gotta get up put my earrings in or something. You kind of outclassing me on my own show. But
A bit.
all
Yeah.
jokes aside, thank you for coming through. Thank you for pulling up the Inside the Rapper Studio. Now, every interview of Inside the Rapper Studio begins with an origin story. So for the people at home, let them know your origin story, how you got started as an artist, as a poet, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm Baltimore bred, West Baltimore in particular. I got started dancing really, and in college I flunked out of the dance program. I was on a scholarship and everything.
Oh
And
man.
Dance was something I knew my whole life, and I just
What style, or like many different
like
styles?
ballet, modern, like really professional, highly trained styles. And I got to it at that level, and I just wasn't into it as much. It just wasn't my calling anymore. And I found writing. I found this group of rappers on campus, and they kind of encouraged me to get more into writing poetry. Now, I grew up exposed to poetry because my father was a writer, and he would always get
Oh
me to
wow.
read his work, and he would want me to write poems with him. So I had always wrote poetry, but I was dancing. That was the forefront of my life. So I found this group of rappers, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna get into like the spoken word. And the way that I perform poetry is very rhythmic, and I stack rhymes a lot. So they really fucked with it. They were like, this is really great stuff. So from there, I kind of just started to build my sound and be influenced by a lot of things. I was in Virginia at the time. So when I came back to Baltimore,
What school did you go to?
I went to VCU, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I came back to Baltimore, Baltimore has a huge poetry scene. So just being back home, I found a lot more things to write about that were personal to me. And from there, it kind of took off. Like I just surrounded myself in this art scene and with people who were really into poetry and gave me the tools I needed and the platforms to just make this thing pop.
So you felt like when you came to Baltimore, you kind of found your tribe?
Yes. Like I had that little tribe in Virginia, but
Mhm.
Baltimore is just a different place. And the artists here, it's just different. So, yeah.
Talk to me about kind of the difference between the dance muscle and the poetry muscle. Like, how is it different expressing yourself through writing versus expressing yourself through dancing? I know that's a big ass abstract question.
It is. Well, I mean, the obvious answer is the tool, right? With writing, you use your mouth, and with dancing, you're using your body. You're using words and then your body and music. So it is a lot different because with dance, it's emotion based. Like if you see a great dancer, of course they're gonna have good technique, no matter what style it is, but it's the emotion. Like if you see a good dancer, they're making you feel something with how they
Mhm.
manipulate their body. With words, you have a little bit more flexibility. You're still trying to get people to feel emotional, but you have a language that everybody is familiar with to kind of assist you. So
Gotcha.
like if you're a poet who uses like bars and a lot of rhyme, maybe you don't have to put that much emotion because you're kind of getting people with how clever it is. That's how you cling to it. But with dance, it's all emotion, it's all body, and you really have to connect with people on a level that they're not used to. But I think that the bridge between them both is music. Dance, you're dancing to
Huh.
music. Poetry, I'm like I said, my poetry is very rhythmic. So I feel like music is that common denominator.
You also got a lot of I've learned from my pre-show meeting with Score. Shout out to Score. He couldn't be here today. We miss him dearly.
Yeah.
But he told me that you got a lot of experience working open mics too.
Yeah. So that's how I started when I first came back to Baltimore, was all open mics. And it's intimidating.
Oh, of course.
Like just getting on this, because people didn't pay to see you. It's different when
Hmm.
you're a feature artist because everyone's there to see you, but open mic is just like it's like it could go bad. It could be a noisy crowd. Maybe they don't care. Like you really have to, it's a big test of your work. And then you also have to know like what piece should I do. But
Hmm.
yeah, I went to a lot of different open mics back when Be Free Fridays was still around.
Okay.
Mellow Mondays was still around at the time. Snaps and Laughs, like just all the open mics around the city. I would try to be there every week.
Using your bag.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you gain up? I guess the question is, how did you kind of work that muscle of from going from I'm in an open mic and maybe they'll talk to me, maybe they won't. I mean, maybe they'll respond to me, maybe they won't. To hopefully now, oh, I'm on stage. You need to pay attention. Like, how did you kind of gain that skill?
Um, a lot of practice and a lot of reading the room, first of all.
That's a good one.
You have to read the room. Like if it's if I'm at an open mic and it's a bar and everybody's loud and already chit chatty, I know that I'm going to do a poem that is aggressive, that is gonna grab your attention and really hold you. I'm not gonna do like one of my softer
Yeah.
or sad poems. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you also have to really know how to read the room. And the only way you can really know how to do that is from performing. You have to practice. So just going, like, every open mic was a trial and error. Like, okay, this time I learned that I can't do this kind of poem with this kind of crowd, or, you know what I'm saying? Or just figuring out other tools of making eye contact with certain people. Also, bringing people with you is important. You know, making sure that you have a tribe there to support you, and that can have some influence on the audience. But it's really practice. Like, you got to be brave. It's not for the weak. Like, you really have to you got to believe in yourself, and you have to just do it. There's
Oh
no
shit.
other way.
If you was doing them about 3 times a week, how long did it take you until you felt like, okay, uh, you know what I mean? To tell I'm not gonna say the butterflies went away because you always have those butterflies, regardless if it's your
Always.
first time or your 1 millionth time. But when did you start to feel like you had a grasp over the room, a grasp over, I'm walking in here, I know what poem to pull out in what situation, I know how to approach this, how to spend my time before, how to spend my time after. Like, when did you kind of get into a groove, we'll say?
I would say, honestly, after I started getting features,
Really?
um, because features are longer, or when I started getting paid gigs, I'll say, because not even featuring at an open mic, but any paid gig, because it's longer. And you learn a lot when you're up there back to back like that. You learn a lot about which poems work best. So I probably started getting features like, I would say, a year after doing a lot of performing, which I feel like is normal. But that's
Yeah.
when I started getting like consistent paid gigs. Like, I put in my work, paid my dues, and now I have all these paid gigs. And that's when it really just started to kick. But again, it's still a lesson all the time. I could go to an open mic tomorrow and may not pick the right poem, even though I
Yeah.
calculated everything in my head. You know, it's still a thing that you have to be brave about, and it's not always going to be successful.
You know what this like reminds me a lot of? Have you ever heard when stand-up comedians talk about like the process behind them getting a stand-up ready to go on tour or stuff
I
like that?
haven't heard about it, but
It's
tell me.
kind of, yeah, it's kind of the same thing where it's like they'll work a smaller, like say you got Dave Chappelle. If he
Uh-huh.
has a tour coming up or a big show coming up, he'll go to like smaller comedy clubs and test out material. And that's how they find out, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. So then by the time you see him on stage on Netflix, it's like these are like my greatest hits type joint.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you said that, because, and shout out to Snaps and Laughs, because it's comedy and it's poetry and comedy, because poetry and comedy are a lot alike. Like, timing is huge. You got
Hmm.
to read the room, just like we said. It's just you yourself. It's no music. It's nobody else out there to help you. And you have to have like these lines that get people's attention. Like, poetry and comedy are cousins, in my opinion.
That's a
Even
good
though
one.
they're different, it's really the same kind of thing. So I'm glad you said that the process is the same. That's pretty cool.
Last question was how you got into your groove. I want to ask you now on that same wavelength. Tell me about the Love Groove Music Festival.
Uh, the Love Groove Music Festival was dope. It was so dope. Like,
What was it for
even,
people that may not know?
huh? Okay,
What
yeah.
was it? And yeah,
The Love Groove Music Festival. It's a festival put on by John Tyler, who I
shout out
love.
to John Tyler.
John is dope. Shout out to John. And it's a series, and this series, this part of the series was called the Women's Showcase, the Women's Artist Showcase. And he had about 8 of us, I believe, 8 women, and band members as well. So you had all these different female musicians who put on a show. It was like each of us had like a 10-minute set, and it was probably one of the dopest virtual shows that I've ever seen. Um, we all had our individualized sets.
Hmm.
You know, it just felt so like each part of the process made us feel so special. I mean, we had our photo shoots and
That's what's
interviews.
up.
Yeah, and he just really tailored it to our selves. And that was my first time really performing with a band, like my own
Hmm.
set. I just told you that like poetry is just you and yourself, it's no music. So I really adored that experience. I got to work with Jasmine, Rachel, and John. Jasmine was on the drums, Rachel was on the flute and the saxophone, and John was on, yeah, the bass. So it was amazing. Like, I would love to be able to do it again. And I hope that the festival grows into like a Coachella or something.
No, I will.
Yeah.
I will. Just based off, I don't know, just based off me seeing it, like, you know, how sometimes you catch things when you see things, just seeing the way
Yeah.
it's starting to grow already. Hey John, if you're watching this, we gotta get you on the ITRS episode too, bro. Uh,
Yeah.
back to things that can grow into bigger things. I have to understand that you also create a short film,
I did. Yes. Yes. So
A Black
film,
Girl's Country.
yes, film is like very close to my heart. That's another medium that I have been getting involved in a lot, and I love, love, love film. But A Black Girl's Country was my first time playing with it. It's really an ode to Black women and really just celebrating Black women without them having to die or fulfill a big role or be extraordinary. That's like the only time we love Black women is when they do something for us, or when they
Mm-hmm.
pass away, or when they like go beyond the standard. But I feel like we should celebrate Black women just for thriving and surviving. So that's what that film was about. It's my poetry combined with a whole lot of images. Kirby Griffin was the cinematographer, and a poet named Nate helped me direct. And Wifty, who's amazing, an amazing vocalist, she laid down some vocals for the track as well.
How do you do all these creative endeavors? I think that's one of my favorite questions because I didn't even get to the book that you also you know me. So I don't know. How do you manage all of it? How do you constantly stay creative and stay charged up, energized to
Well, I'm a Gemini, so we get bored, first of all.
okay.
Geminis, we and are always looking for new ways to say something. Like I'm a big communicator. And I told you, like, I got to the dance thing and I was like, okay, I've said what I had to say this one way for like 15 years. Now I want to move on. What's another way that I can communicate what I need to say to the world? So that's really what it is. I get really excited when I find a new medium of art that I can express myself in. And I also, I still dance. I still go back to dance. I dance in A Black Girl's Country. So whatever I feel, I have all of these mediums here. And if I have the message, I'm like, okay, which medium is best for me to use? If I'm sad, I want to dance versus say the poem, or maybe if I want to, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can do that in a film and I can say this in a poem. So it's also good to have because I just have different ways to express things. So it's pretty easy, I'd say.
It's just innate, I guess.
Yeah.
What are you trying to like do next or learn next? Are there any other like I don't know, a larger movie or another book or I don't know. It seems like the sky's the limit. I just want to know what you got cooking up right now.
Yeah, so more film, definitely. I've been doing a lot of film. I can't stay. That's the only thing about film. It's such a long process. With poetry, you got a new poem, you can head out and share it to the world. But with film, it is a long process. And we've been working on a film for about 15 months now. So I am ready to release that to the world. I've been helping a few local artists with their music videos. I can't wait to share those with the world as well. And I would like to put out a feature film one day, like a 2-hour or 1.5 hour film. I would love that. And another book as well.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I have a lot of things in mind. Like I just want to keep growing. Everything I've done, I believe I can do better than I did it before. So I always want to try it again. But yeah, there is another film on the way, and I'm excited to share it with the world soon.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. I just looked at myself. I didn't realize. This is why I don't wear my glasses in the interview because I got fucking glare the whole time. All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, I cannot see the eyes. There.
Yeah, we're gonna skip from that. But hey, listen, appreciate you. If Score was here, it'll be a round of applause for Nia June right here. Again, Nia, not Nia. But yeah, man, let people know where they can find you at.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Nia June Poetry. You can also find me on Twitter, sometimes at Nia June Poetry. I'm terrible at it. But if you really want to find me, go to Instagram, Nia June Poetry, NIAJUNE Poetry.
Fire. That's another great show in the books. Thank you, Nia June. Thank you to listen. We don't record these at the same time. So Score cut and edit this. He's not gonna cut and edit it.
Okay.
Shout out to Limo. She was the first interview of the day. Hey, see y'all next week. Same time, same place.